Welcome to The Better Life with Dr. Mary Ann Pinkston. Join Dr. Pinkston today as she teaches you how an integrative approach to health, combining holistic and contemporary medical information, can lead you to the better life. And now, here's your host, Dr. Mary Ann Pinkston.
Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Mary Ann Pinkston, and this is The Better Life with Dr. Pinkston. And today I have Ray Solano from up at PDLABS in Cedar Park, Texas with me. And always so happy to have you on, Ray. Thank you for all your support and everything you do for me, for sure.
Well, it's great to be here, and hopefully you can hear me okay. We're doing it from another studio. Yeah. So we're excited. You know, we're always, you know, we do interviews on our Doctor Talks podcast, and we interview the most influential thought leaders in this industry in longevity medicine, and you're one of them. And we're so excited to be on your show as well.
Thank you. Yes.
You know, there's so much AI generated podcast and information. Yeah. This question. Yeah. Is this real or is it not? So this is a real show.
Absolutely. And love it. And we've done this for a few years now. So we've got quite a few shows people need to go back and look at. So they need to go over to Dr. Talks and take a look, and they need to take a look back at ours. And I know today we've got a great topic. I've been wanting to talk about this for a while, and that's men's health. So I think a lot of my viewers are women, kind of the 35 and up age group, but I have some men, and I know they need some love today. So I'm glad that we're going to do that. So not only from erectile dysfunction, which means if you have erectile dysfunction, you have some early cardiovascular disease. Perfect sign of it. So we'll connect the two here about how if we treat one, we're treating the other, actually, right? So it's a great topic.
Well, it requires more than filling out a questionnaire online and getting packages in the mail, which unfortunately we live in this telemedicine world that takes the practitioner out of the medicine. Yeah. And we unfortunately, we're trivializing a symptom, of a possible problem. And it's men do not get examinations. They don't see practitioners until they're dead or dying. And so they need screenings for prostate health. They need screenings for many conditions, cardiovascular health. So it's really important to have that relationship with somebody that can look at those risk factors and get blood tests. You know, the good thing about blood tests today, these blood spot tests are very effective, very helpful, easy to get a blood test now than it ever was before. I do it myself every 6 months, whether I need it or not. And it's scary when you get them, and it's a great dashboard as to where your health is. And as we get in the senior and we get in their 60s, and it's really important to make those course corrections, because you have about 20 years, what you do today, make those changes, will make a difference 10 years from now. So it's really, really important. So that's why we think that this is an important intervention. Yes. And you've been doing this for many years. So we partnered together in this men's health line that takes on not only erectile dysfunction, but also looks at hormone replacement therapy. Yes. It also looks at lifestyle changes. Absolutely. And looks at risk factors all together. So it's a great step forward. So that we really appreciate working with you, and
thank you.
I think this is something that we just got to get the word out, right?
Absolutely. I think that's the key. And so there are so many, you nailed it right in the very beginning, what you said, that there are so many of these little practices, and they're not really practices. I don't know what to call them, an industry of giving out, Cialis, Viagra, or, trying to solidify sexual health and whatnot, but not touching the patient. And I don't think these these guys actually talk to a provider. If they do, they talk to somebody who's really not qualified to screen for prostate health or cardiovascular health. And trivializing it is a big factor because cardiovascular disease starts with men at that level, and it's very serious. That is, I think once erectile dysfunction begins, it is what, a 10-year mark before a potential event. Not in all men, of course, but I do believe that it is a significant majority. We really got to focus on that from a provider standpoint and have a good, well-trained nurse practitioner, PA, and certainly a doctor involved, and get men taken care of. So what, I know you guys have worked with, erectile dysfunction for a very long time and have a fantastic product that I've been involved with, and very passionately. And I think that's the Trimix gel. So let's talk a little bit about what you've got and some of the solutions we've got and how that will, key in with, treating cardiovascular health.
Well, it's this formula, Trimix, has been around for years as an injectable. Yes. But we've recently, last 10 years, figured out how to do this with a no needles application of intraurethral, inside the urethra application that gets that same effect locally without the injections. Unfortunately, injections can lead to scarring. They can be difficult. They can be somewhat painful. Sure. We have a number of patients with post-prostatectomy and post-surgery that they are looking for any type of solution. And this is it may be not the first choice for some patients because they're looking for something quicker with an injection, but it is definitely the only needleless application on work. Topical doesn't work. This is inside the urethra. And it's a special formula, same drugs, all using FDA-approved drugs that are in this special process that makes it into a powder form, and it's reconstituted. And a lot of people say, well, is this the same as Muse? Well, Muse is just one drug. That's alprostadil. This is three drugs, phentolamine and papaverine. And by the way, it took Muse off the market. I don't know if you know that. Right. Because it's very... So there's not much choice. This is an off-label usage. It's a product that's not made anymore. And it works. So there's 4 different strengths. We got 5 strengths now. So with the trained practitioner like yourself, we can come up with the personalized approach. Absolutely. For you. So it's a unit dose. So, and it's at room temperature. Right. So you can travel with it. You can travel. Right. So it does not require refrigeration. So there's a lot of the convenience factor is there. Patients are we able to bolt on different additions to this. We do know that nitric oxide levels are critical to blood pressure. So if you're having high blood pressure, you probably have a nitric oxide deficiency. Yes. And the body makes nitric oxide as relaxing smooth muscles, all the muscles. So once you relax those smooth muscles, blood pressure comes down. But vasodilation in the genital area is critical to erectile dysfunction. So this is why those capillaries, if they get occlusion with calcium, then they're not going to dilate. Right. So we've got to be able to do that, and we also suggest nitric oxide boosters. There's a number of products out there. Oral, taking daily, cause vasodilation on a daily basis, so get blood pressure down. So this makes this product work better. 10 to 15 minutes prior to activity, and it's a success. But we also came up with something that it's a kind of funny name. We call it Pocket Rocket. So just say the least. Pocket Rocket says it all. It sure does. So it works centrally on the brain to improve libido and desire. Yes. And so the combination of this PT141, which is an FDA-approved drug for this application for men and for also for women, and oxytocin that also helps with desire, and tadalafil, which is also a potent vasodilator. So you put a combination of these together, and we have success. So this is, as opposed to failure, and a lot of people are looking for that intimacy and to be able to resolve this condition. And we think we come up with a pretty good solution.
I think you have too. And the great thing about the Trimix gel is that you can, I feel there's a lesser potential for priapism or sustained erection that you can't get relief from. That's a medical emergency.
That's an ER visit. Sometimes it's non-recoverable. So
absolutely. And so it's a very serious situation. With the injection, that is much more likely. So I haven't seen as many problems at all with the gel. And so, with the gel, I tell men that there's a little bit of a learning curve to it. Just be patient. First or second one, we're deciding if dose is good. There may be some other options. I tell men, they can use a restriction ring if needed, or, they can also combine with the pocket rocket if they take steps very slowly and have an antidote on hand. But I know that this is a very great combination. When you improve libido and that bonding feeling, then, in which the pocket rocket can also help women with the same issue. On another note too that I've noticed is that men complain very often of side effects from the tadalafil, which is Cialis, and so they get congestion, headache, funny vision, things like that, or bad acid reflux. And so the pocket rocket, being sublingual, not something you swallow, is also extremely helpful. I have had zero complaints or problems with that. Not that it can't happen, but I've had zero complaints or problems. And then on top of that, telling men, and been doing this for some time, I found that if men take a nitric oxide supplement, oral supplement daily, regardless of sexual activity, that they have noticed improvement in energy and thought processes, morning erections, and ability to get an erection spontaneously, and some other issues. And we know that is working at the root cause of the problem, which is the cardiovascular disease, helping to open up those arteries. So you're absolutely right. What do, in using these products and from a cardiovascular health standpoint, what about nitric oxide? There's a lot of different types out there. So they can buy it anywhere, right? So a lot of different types. What is the best way to go about choosing something that's good?
I give people choices. The Neo 40's been around for a while as a sublingual. Mm-hmm. Dr. Bryant, Nathan Bryant, makes a nitric oxide. He's been the founder of nitric oxide therapy. So his products, the NO products, is probably one that works well. They have astragalus. They have one with astragalus that's an oral capsule. Nice. That is very helpful. So we try to give people choices of one that works, but you definitely have to try that. Nova Complete was something our pharmacist did here as an oral powder that's been shown to reduce blood pressure as very effectively as almost 20 points, believe it or not, right away. So we definitely have to be able to do that. We also are working closely with with practitioners on a new drug that is being used in Europe for Trimix, is a peptide, a vasoactive intestinal peptide.
Right.
Which is a very strong, potent vasodilator.
Right.
That increases vascularity, and it also improves regeneration of blood flow. So we use it for many different conditions, and it's being approved for pulmonary hypertension, believe it or not.
Yep.
So there's a drug that is approved in Europe that's using for this. So with your skill, we're going to be recruiting people for trials to see if this combination works. So we think we've got a center of excellence in this area.
Yes.
So I think it's one-stop shopping.
Yes.
There's a lot of professionalism here, and it's really important that you get what you pay for.
Yes.
Getting blue pills in the mail is definitely not going to fix your problem.
Absolutely.
If you got 40-year-olds and 50-year-olds that are doing this, I said, what's going on? So I think it's we need to put medicine back in erectile dysfunction. How's that sound?
Absolutely. I agree 1,000%. So, and love it. And so how can people get in touch with the pharmacy and get seen so that they can get these products?
Well, I check out, if you were interested in the Trimix, trimixgel.com is a website, a questionnaire that qualifies you for the start to get a consultation with you or one of our PharmD practitioners. So we go through a little bit of a lengthy questionnaire process to you're getting that as part of the service. You can call you can check out our website, pdlabsrx.com, pdlabsrx.com, and check under Trimix Gel, and you'll see that information as well. It's so funny. A lot of people spend a lot of money advertising their websites. We don't advertise our websites, and we have a tremendous amount of people that are interested.
Absolutely.
If you're really serious about it, I think you should give us a try. Be a little patient with the questionnaires because we want to make sure we schedule the right practitioner to the right person, and we make sure that we do no harm, but we get you to the right solution.
Absolutely. I don't know if in the 3 or 4 years that I've been doing this, I've seen thousands. And one thing that gets me is how men will say, well, I saw this online and I took this to my, PCP or my urologist, and they didn't want to touch it. So I don't know anything about it. So this is something that I don't want to touch. And it's amazing to me because there's a lot of good information. It's very easy to find, and most people find it from a search. So like I say, we don't advertise, but it's findable. It's very searchable. And so, if you're frustrated in that aspect, we definitely don't want to take the place of your doctors, that you're being seen for good reason, prostate health or, general cardiovascular health. But if you meet with resistance, that is something that we can provide, and they're probably happy that we're available to do that, I'm sure.
Yeah, and so that's we're very excited to get people started at trimixgel.com or website, pdlabsrx.com. Either one of those would be perfect for us to get you started.
Absolutely.
And you give me your website as well, because I think that's important.
Absolutely, of course, because you guys are all over that website and our previous shows are there as well. So you have a great hook to find all the information you need. So drpbetterlife.com, and it's all there. There's that I don't advertise my website either, but it's there. It got all the information and happy to help. So please, the contact form is on there too. If you have any questions, I answer all of them. So I don't have to have an assistant or a nurse or somebody do it. Dr. Pinkston still works her own contact form, and I love it.
There you go.
Yeah. So
we look forward to it. And, our phone number is 512-219-0724. Our clinic number, I'll give you that. Our clinic number, Laval Performance Health, is 512-219-0782. But give us a call. Check out Laval, Lavalle Performance, lavalperformance.com, and you'll see all the services that we have to offer,
which are many, and Jim Laval heads that up, and we love it. So awesome. All right, we're going to take a short break and come back on the other side because I have a question for you about something else I've heard that's been big in the news. So we'll take a short break and be right back.
Okay, take care.
Hi, this is Ray Solano with your Healthy Choices Minute, sponsored by Prescription Dispensing Labs. New research has concluded that implementing dietary changes could prevent gut inflammatory processes involved in some chronic diseases. Modulation of your gut microbes through diets enriched with vegetables, legumes, grains, nuts, and a higher intake of plant over animal foods has a potential to prevent intestinal inflammatory conditions at the core of many chronic diseases. In short, the foods we eat and our dietary patterns have a major influence on our immune system that can cause many conditions we are suffering from today. Solution: try our OptiMeal shake. Our team has developed the best tasting, healthiest shake you've ever experienced to control blood sugar and to improve your gut. Start your day today with a healthy choice. Call us today at 888-909-0110 for a free sample of the OptiMeal shake. 888-909-0110. Remember, you have a choice in healthcare.
Beautiful. That's the first time I've really been able to see the commercial. I love that. So that OptiMeal is fantastic stuff. Huh? I love it. So we
got new ones all the time. Check out, when you call us and, we're here about getting the word out.
Yes.
People need to make a significant investment in their health because chronic health, chronic conditions is not healthy. It really is not.
Right. So we are helping to make those changes. And I know people are so interested and want to take control. A lot of practitioners out there don't practice what we practice. And so we're glad to move all this forward. I wanted to ask you something. So I alluded to it before we took break. The Methylene Blue. So I'm kind of throwing this curveball at you today because we wanted to talk men's health, but this is something else that I've been using with men lately. There's a nitric oxide component to it, a little different, but tell us a little bit, and people are asking me now more and more and more, and I know you've got a great source. So tell us a little bit about Methylene Blue and how this fits in.
Well, Methylene Blue it's been around for as a food grade, and it has anti-parasitic properties, antibacterial properties, is more than just a food dye. So we have found recently there's been a number of clinical studies shown that it increases regeneration, improves mitochondria health, increases oxygenation of mitochondria, and it has strong anti-parasitic properties, especially for people with long COVID. I've got one patient that's is using it to reverse pancreatic cancer patients. So what we're finding it is a foundational for having so many therapeutic effects. But once we get cellular absorption, so we like repurposing old drugs. It can, for people with mold conditions, can exacerbate possible a healing crisis. So it has to be, we think it should be monitored with a practitioner to get the right dosing.
Yeah.
We come up with a special form to get an interest. We feel a higher level of absorption because we get less drug needed and get therapeutic effects. Dr. Horowitz has done a lot of work. He's written many books on the use of Methylene Blue and with Dapsone for Lyme disease. But we're finding to get therapeutic effects, you got to get high doses, and sometimes you get nausea, you get many, many side effects. So we feel with the liposomal capsules, or even better, a special lipid particle tablet, we get the therapeutic effects without the side effects. Because we feel that we're getting a much higher lymphatic absorption, even though it's a well-absorbed drug. And a lot of people use the powder. But we find this gets a better absorption when you use less drug. So, but Methylene Blue has its place. There is some place for early areas for dementia, increasing cognitive ability.
Thank you.
So there's different dosing. So get with a specialist that can get you started. It's somewhat safe. We don't feel without non-prescription items, you got to be careful. There's a lot of endotoxins. A lot of these items, all of it's made in international facilities.
Absolutely.
Endotoxins is a big problem. Heavy metals is a big problem with this because it's made in many different countries. So you need prescription quality product.
Correct. Thank you. I love hearing you say that. I appreciate that. I've got people who are, using it and buying it from all sorts of sources, and that's very, very scary. And
it's scary. We kind of think it should be prescription items or professionally recommended, and that's the way we do it. We don't sell it without a prescription.
That's right.
It's not that it's not safe, but we want to make sure the quality, the product that we get is twice as expensive as a different grade. So if it's inexpensive, be careful.
Danger. Yeah. And that's true for so many things that people buy, over the internet and whatnot. I love the dementia aspect, and we can kind of finish on this, but I love the dementia aspect of it. That's where I'm using it the most now. And so I know people are so interested, how is it affecting dementia from where I know the mitochondrial health is very, very important to all disease for sure, cancer, and that's why they're using pancreatic cancer or whatnot, but kind of explain how that works because people are very interested from this aspect.
Well, the true mechanism, we know for many of these long COVID is a parasitic, low-grade parasitic infection. And so when we can lower that load of those chronic COVID virus, people get their lives back.
Yeah.
So it is definitely a cornerstone in long COVID. So people that are having chronic mold conditions, chronic Lyme conditions,
absolutely,
Methylene Blue has a lot of published literature to support that.
Absolutely.
So those are the simplest ones to get started. Now, for longevity, long term, for increasing mitochondrial regeneration, it definitely has a place 5 milligrams. Mm-hmm. So this is it's one of it's definitely has its place as longevity medicine as a foundation.
Gotcha. How does it work though with the mitochondria? Does it increase nitric oxide? Something that I'm aware of, but I'm a little.
It increases oxygenation of the mitochondria in a basic form.
Gotcha.
Whether it increases AMPK activation, it increases when we increase the ATP in the mitochondria, that helps it for regeneration and also to keep mitochondria from dying off when they're regenerating.
Right. Okay. All right. That is great. Thank you.
And many times when you have chronic illness and chronic conditions, you have tremendous fatigue, and you're going to have to rebuild your mitochondria stores.
Absolutely. I have a lot of patients who do use it for fatigue, and I think that they underneath, honestly, have been exposed to mold or something like that.
That's right.
So I truly feel that way.
Oh, good.
That's awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that very, very much. It's good info. And Ray is always full of that good info. If you can ever get him to sit down long enough with you, you can leave educated on anything in the world you want. I swear. Bless your heart, Ray.
We try and
because there's a lot out there.
It's important just to give you a call, and you have freedom in medicine here, so it's important to exercise your freedom. Okay.
Absolutely, and personalize it. That is what we want. So thank you so much. So lots of great products mentioned. I'm going to have all that on the website. Or in the link tree. Actually, if you go to my social media for Instagram, I have a link tree there. So I have links to that information. That's good.
And check out our podcast on Dr. Talks as well.
Please. Yes. So how do people access Dr. Talks?
Just go to download any of your, where you do your favorite downloads for podcasts. Look under Dr. Talks, Healthy Choices.
That's right.
Healthy Choices under Dr. Talks.
I'll have that on the website too, so we can get to that. And so, yes, and I am very grateful. I've been able to be on. And so, Ray, one more time, how can people find you?
Yeah, check out our website, pdlabsrx.com, pdlabsrx.com. And also check out our clinic, lavalperformance.com.
Yeah, wonderful. And yes, you can find all of our old shows and all of his information and just a quick touch and a click in the link, and you can find PD Labs. So go to drpbetterlife.com. Happy to see you. If you have any questions, let us know. And Ray, thank you as always. It's always a pleasure. happy on. Everybody have a great week.
You've been enjoying The Better Life with Dr. Mary Ann Pinkston. For more information, go to drpthebetterlife.com. That's drpthebetterlife.com. And listen next week for The Better Life with Dr. Pinkston.